Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Jag here, and in today's class we're going to continue with our Math 11 content, and what we're going to cover today is going to be the topic of radicals. Okay, so with that, let's get started. So we are here at our whiteboard, and I have radicals written down. What we're going to do is try some of the questions from the textbook. Okay, so let's try an example here. Okay, so I have my example. Let's try the square root of 48. Okay, so now say I'm doing the square root of 48. I'm looking for two numbers that I can multiply to give me 48. Okay, so I'm just going to do 6 times 8. Okay, which is 48. I notice on my calculator, if I take the square root of 6, okay, this is going to give me a decimal. So I'm going to leave it the same. Okay, however, I can break down the square root of 8, okay, into 2 times 4. Does everyone see that? Usually when you're looking for the factors, you should look for factors that are complete squares. So I know I can take the square root of it. So here I notice that I can take the square root of 4, which is 2. Okay, so we're just going to rewrite it one more time. Square root 6 times square root 2 times 2. Does everyone see that? Also for square root 6, okay, the only two factors I can get here is the square root 3 times square root 2. Okay, if you do take the actual decimal there, or the square root on your calculator, it will be a decimal. So we're going to keep this the same. And this 2, okay, that's right here. I'm just going to write it at the front. I'm going to do 6 times 2. And this is going to be square root 12. So just like this. Okay. Now, however, if you do notice here, I have square root 12. Okay. I can even break this down further. I'm just going to show everyone one more time. I'm going to take some factors of 12, okay, or square root 12. So I know I can do 4 times 3, which is like this. Okay, so you might notice, even when you get to the answer at the very end, okay, it might not be the final answer. I have to make sure I keep simplifying. Okay, the question says express each radical in the simplest form. So one more time, I can take the square root of 4, which is 2. Okay, so I'm going to change that to 2 now. And keep the square root 3 the same. So just like this. Okay, I can multiply these two numbers. They're on the outside. So 2 times 2 is 4. So 4 square root 3. Okay. And this is my final answer. I noticed that I can't reduce that anymore. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that the same. All right, are there any questions there? Okay, good. Let's try one more example here. Okay, let's try -3. So let's write it here. Okay, it's -3 square root of 75. Okay. So again, I'm just going to keep the 3 outside here. Okay. And I want to find some factors of 75. Okay. So -3 times. Now again, when I'm taking the factors, okay, I want to take factors that are complete squares. Okay. So I'm going to do 25 times 3. Don't forget to put the square root sign here. Okay. So it looks like this. And the reason I chose these two factors is because I know that 25 is going to, I can take the square root of 25, which is 5. And the square root 3 on your calculator is a decimal. So I'm going to leave that the same. Okay. Now, whatever numbers I have at the back on the outside, I'm going to multiply it. So -3 times 5, -15, square root 3. Okay. And this is what my answer is. Okay. If you do want to check your answer, what you can do is on your calculator, take the square root of 75 here, times that by -3, okay? And you'll notice we're getting -25.98, okay? And we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to do square root 3 times -15. And I'm also getting -25.98, okay? So again, I could use my calculator to just like check my answer and make sure that it is correct. Okay, and the value should be exact. And if it's not, then you most likely did not simplify the radicals correctly. Okay, so I hope there are no questions there. Okay, so with that, let's try a different example, okay, involving the radicals. Okay, I'm just going to take this off. Okay, and let's try this one here. Okay, so it is square root 7 times the square root of 14. Okay, so now if you're looking at this question, you could try and take factors of 14. Again, the factors of 14 are only 7 and 2. Okay, both of them are prime numbers. Okay, so I noticed that I can't reduce it any further. I'm going to do 7 times 14. So what I have now is square root 98. Okay, and what I want to do is try and divide it, okay, by a whole number. Okay, and what kind of whole number I want it to be is if it's a complete square. Okay, and try dividing it by 4, okay, by 9, 25, okay, or 16. Okay, and if you can't actually divide it, okay, I'm just going to put, just so everyone can see, okay, because sometimes it's hard to come up with the factor. Divide it by 2, so 2 times 49, okay, which is giving me 98, okay. And I know that I can take the square root of 49 right away. Square root of 49 is 7. So square root 2 times 7, okay. And always put the number on the outside, okay, and the radical should be on the inside. So 7, and then square root 2. Okay, so this is actually our final answer. Okay, and again, what I would do is I'm taking the square root of 98 on my calculator. We're getting 9.899. Then what you're going to do is the square root of 2, my final answer. I'm going to times that by 7. And I'm getting 9.899. Okay, and this is kind of just like a way, so let's put check here. This is a way to actually check your answer, okay? Especially because you are allowed to use your calculator, okay, for all of when you do any of these questions. All right, so let's try one more example. Okay, I'm going to take it off. Okay, and that looks really good. So let's try this one. So this says 3 square root 5. And I'm going to multiply it by 2 square root 15. So like this. Okay, so one more time, I notice I'm going to try taking the square root of 15. The only factors of 15 are 3 and 5, which are again prime numbers. So I know I can't reduce that. So what we're going to do is just multiply these numbers out, okay? So I'm going to do 3 times 2, so 6. And underneath the square root sign, we're going to do 5 times 15, which is 75. Does everyone see that? Okay. And so one more time, I want to make sure I am just reducing the 75. And I want to break it down. So I'm going to do 6 times square root 25 times square root 3. Okay, is everyone with me so far? So we're just breaking down the square root 75, okay, into its two factors here. So again, the ones I'm picking are 25 and 3 because I know 25 is a complete square. And I can just reduce that, okay? So the square root of 25 is equal to 5. Okay, and the square root 3 on your calculator again is a decimal. So we're just going to leave it the same here. Okay? And again, I want to make sure I'm multiplying the numbers that are on the outside here. So 6 times 5, so 30. Square root 3, okay? And this is actually my final answer here. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to just check my answer. I'm doing square root 75 times 6 here. Maybe let's write it on the side. So we're getting 51.96. Okay, that's how you should actually write it. So if you do square root 3, I'm going to times that by 30. And that's also giving me 51.96. Okay, and again, the radicals should be exact values here. Okay, and that way you can check and make sure that your answer is correct. All right. So again, even for the example that we did before as well, I would maybe just write the actual decimals right beside the number itself. Okay, so that way you can put it like right here. So negative 25.98. okay? And I would put it right here, so negative 25.98, okay? And that's a really quick check that you could do, okay? And I see that it only takes me like 1 minute to do the check. And again, I know with 100% certainty that I do have the correct answer here, okay? All right, so that looks good, okay? And today's class, we covered Math 11 and how to solve radicals. These are some simple radicals, just simplifying them, as well as just multiplying radicals as well, all right? All right, so if there are no questions, that does bring this video to an end. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you do like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see everyone in the next video. Thanks, bye.